Hi, it's Theo, and thank you for joining me. And today I wanted to go over the best and worst cards of the new mini set Embers of the World Tree. Now I know I've already done all the reviews for every card. Now a week later we know all the cards and we've had some time to think about all of them. So let's get started with the 5 cards, the 5 worst cards that I don't think we'll see play. And the first one is a spicy one. It's a Tindral Sage Swift. I think this card is really bad. I've seen some people rate it highly, but I just don't really get why. I've seen some people say it goes into like Death Rattle Demon Hunter, but yeah, it's only a one-off, so you're still going to be playing Bulk, and I think you'd rather have 2 Bulks than this card, because yeah, big weakness is the deck doesn't have healing. Weakness is not that it doesn't have damage, the deck has plenty of damage, so the extra damage this gets is not necessary, but the healing of Bulk is just so important to stay alive, otherwise your opponent can just ignore the board, right now. Bulk, yeah, you don't really want to ignore it, because you ignore it, it's going to heal guaranteed 6. That's quite a lot, and then it's going to be resurrected. This one, if you ignore it, yeah, it's just going to deal 4 and not heal. So if you're an aggro deck, yeah, you just ignore it and go face, and then, oh, it does 1 AoE. Who cares, right? And then they resurrect it, and then you still go face, because they'll have to trade. Like, you much rather have Bulk in almost any situation, it feels like. Also, in any other deck, like, why would you run this? Like, yeah, on turn 4, maybe if your opponent has a nice board to clear, but then you're still gonna take the damage if there's a nice board. Your opponent might have like a way to deal with it, silence or something. And yeah, later in the game, this seems awful, right? Like you play this on turn 8, like just is this really the best thing you're gonna be doing turn 8? I don't think so. Like I've seen people say, yeah, just give a taunt, but yeah, what card gives a taunt is you don't really want to build your deck around it, right? It's just the one of legendary that isn't that impactful. And then maybe Death Knight, because you can give it Orbital Moon, but that's about it. And then it's still a 2-card combo that might not even clear the board. Yeah, I don't think that's really worth putting in your deck, so that's why it's my 5th worst card of the set. And the 4th worst card of the set, I think it's Keeper of Flame. I've seen a certain YouTuber put this card in their A tier, in their tier list for the set, and that just doesn't make any sense to me. Why? Because, yeah, well, this card, yes, it's a lot of stats it gives. There's just nothing really you want to be buffing in Warrior. Like, you compare it, for example, right now to Hand Buff Death Knight, which is an okay deck, right? It's not amazing, but it's playable. That deck has a lot of minions that you want to be buffing, right? It has multiple minions that summon multiple taunts. It has like no mancha to heal a bunch, the Rush Lifesteal card. Like you have so many minions that have a really big impact when getting buffed. The deck also has way more buffs, better draw, and that's just an okay deck, right? So a card like this in a deck that doesn't have great minions to be buffing, you have to discard as well on top of it, so you can't even be buffing like late game stuff that works with buffs. Yeah, I don't see why you want to be playing this. So it's my 4th worst card. Then number 3 is a priest card, a Smoldering Ascent. Yeah, this card is just awful. Like it's just not what you want from a removal. Like a removal is very situational, right? You want to hold it for when there's a good board to use it on. And this card just says no to that. You basically just have to get lucky that the turn your opponent has a big board. This one is exactly at the right number. And when there's no good board to clear, it's not a board clear you can just hold on to, right? Like every other board clear, it just goes away. Yeah, Priest cannot afford to be having cards like this. It's just an awful board clear in a time that Priest really needs some better board clears, and that's why it's on number 3. Now, then on number 2, we've got the Avatar of Destruction, the Shaman minion, and yeah, this card, I don't know what you want to be doing with this. Like late game, you're going to be playing this turn 9? I don't think so. There's nothing to really cheat it out. And even then, there's got to be better things to cheat out than just this one. All it does is play the board, and it feels like just a card that you don't want to be playing in any deck. You don't want to be playing this card on turn 9, like that's way too slow. It's going to get dreamed by Shaladrasil, and then it's just gone, -9 mana. You can't afford to do that. And even if that doesn't exist, like, yeah, turn 9, you're going to be holding this for turn 9, then play it, and then hope your opponent doesn't have, like, Divine Shield, Silence, or any other way to get past it. Yeah, I don't think you can ever play this, and that's why it's at number 2. And then I think the very worst card of the mini set is the Emberroot Destroyer. Yeah, this card, I don't know what you will only be playing this in. There's a few 1 mana cards that do self damage, but then, yeah, to spend 3 mana on this and then maybe kill a few minions, I don't see it happening. You have to build your entire deck around it, which is not something you want to be doing. And then the entire payoff is maybe clear a few minions if the opponent's board isn't too big. Yeah, I just don't see a world where everyone will be playing this card, and that's why I think it's the worst card of this set. Now then, let's go to the 5 best cards of the set, and let's start with the Tendering Dragonkin, and I think this card is going to be really good in the Imbue Hunter. The Imbue Hunter just wants to play King Plush, and played it multiple times, right? And this is way better than Brewmaster in that deck, which is already a good card in it. Because you really need a way to have multiple King Plushes, right? You can't just hold it and buff it to like 30 damage to kill an opponent. And this one just helps so much in doing it multiple times. Either you can make King Plush go 0, which means it has 15 attack, play this, and you have an OTK. Or you can play it and then play King Plush, and then just hold the card in your hand. Or you can play King Plush for 0 mana with this, and then you shuffle this even in your deck, so you can infinitely keep doing this in some way if you keep top decking it. Although your opponent likely dies before you copy King Plush multiple times, but hey, maybe it's a tactic in like a very slow matchup. It is exactly what Imbue Hunter needs, and that's why I rank it at number 5. Now at number 4, I got the Mage Spell Smoldering Grove. This is just a really strong draw card. I feel like you can play it in a bunch of different mage decks, right? It's just draw, and relatively cheap at 2 mana. I don't rank it any higher because that discard downside is pretty big. But yeah, it's still a lot of card flow you can get with it, right? 2 mana draw 3 is really, really strong. Yeah, maybe you have to play it in some turns where it isn't optimal, but yeah, still, it's a lot of cards for, and yeah, which deck does not want cards for, right? So I think it's really good, and that's why I put it at number 4. Now at number 3, I got the Cinder Sword, the 1 mana weapon for a rogue, and yeah, that's often 8 damage. The only downside is you need a Dark Gift card for this to work, but yeah, I think the rogue's already playing some Dark Gift card, the Ashermain rogue at least, and yeah, this is just a lot of damage. It's 8 damage for 1 mana. I mean, that is super efficient damage. I think it's going to be so strong in any rogue that wants to play Dark Gifts. The only downside to this card again is though that you need a Dark Gift, which kind of limits in what deck it gets played. But yeah, if you're playing those Dark Gifts, I think it's going to be a really strong card. That's why I put it at number 3. Then at number 2 we have the Druid Legendary Amirdra's Seal. And yeah, this card just looks really good in a lot of Druid decks. It just does so many things for just 4 mana. I mean, you draw, you gain armor, you cheat mana, you gain minions. And that's, you get that 3 times. And especially when you get to use that 3rd charge, it's pretty insane how much mana you get back. And yeah, just does kind of everything you want in one card and does it pretty efficiently. As long as you get at least to, at least the 2nd charge of this card. So I think this card will be helping Druid a lot, and that's why I put it at number 2. Now at number 1, we've got the big legendary from the set, and yeah, in the past we've seen a lot of these big legendaries from the sets get nerfed, right? We've had Thaddeus, we have Yogg, we have Bren. Like all of those got nerfed, and yeah, this kind of follows the trend of just having a big, strong legendary and often a neutral one. And yeah, I think Fire Wreck is just very, very good. You can put it in a lot of decks. Yeah, it's 9 mana, but it's similar to Yogg, where it can just win games you're not supposed to win, clear boards in decks that can't clear the board, draw cards, deal damage. I mean, this does all of it. I think you'll be very happy putting this card in a lot of decks. It just does quite a lot for 1 card, especially in decks that just don't have stuff like that board clear or the damage from hand. And we haven't even talked about this card being able to be like shadow blocked, shadow stabbed, all that kind of stuff that makes you be able to play this card multiple times. And I think that makes it the strongest card of this set. And that's why I put it at number 1. Now those are my thoughts on the 5 best and worst cards of this mini set, Embers of the World Tree. Please let me know in the comments what your top 5 best and worst cards would be. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and until next time.